So my good buddy Adam over at the YouTube channel YourMovieSucks recently completed his series on childhood trauma, in which he talked about movies or TV shows that haunted him when he was young. It's really good, and you should check it out. He also asked me if I'd be willing to make a similar video, and since I've always loved scary shit, I of course said yes. Plus, Adam's a cool dude. You should subscribe to his channel! So like I said, I've always had a thing for creepy stuff. My favorite episodes of the majority of shows from my childhood were always the Halloween specials. For instance, the I Know What You Did Last Summer episode of Boy Meets World.
Excuse me. Killer! Killer! You're the killer!
Or any of the scary episodes of Hey Arnold.
Boo.
I was still in elementary school when I saw Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Psycho. So yeah, it kind of took a lot to creep me out. I was rarely traumatized by movies or TV shows because I just liked horror too much. Even things like Batman Mask of the Phantasm was pretty hard stuff to show a kid.
Your angel of death awaits.
But I still loved it. The stuff that really bothered me usually involved realistic graphic violence, like this scene in Starship Troopers. I remember seeing that and being so disturbed because I was questioning why that guy would purposefully do that to one of his own men. It kept me up all night. So due to my love of horror from a young age, some of the entries in this video will be from movies or programs not necessarily made for children, because the majority of them didn't really bother me, and my parents were pretty cool about showing me stuff that I probably shouldn't have been watching quite just yet, but I don't know. My mom wanted to traumatize me, I guess. The first movie I want to talk about is a 1964 film called The Night Walker. It starred Barbara Stanwyck and Robert Taylor, and was about a widowed woman haunted by reoccurring nightmares after her husband was killed in a fire. Throughout the film, a man in shadow often appears calling out her name.
Irene. Irene. Irene, let me in.
I swear to you, I heard that voice in my dreams for years. But easily, the scene that haunted me the most was a horrific dream sequence inside a church. I was too young to understand that it was supposed to be a nightmare, so I remember assuming that my mother was showing me a movie about fucking demonic possession or something. And when her dead husband starts showing up, that certainly didn't help anything. For God's sake, Mom, what were you thinking?
When you dream, you wander into another world where everything is strange and terrifying. A world that exists only at night. When you dream, you become a night walker.
Next up is an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, one of my favorite childhood shows, called The Tale of the Night Shift. I talked about this a little in my Retro Rewind segment, but it bears repeating. This show was already considered boundary pushing for kids in the 90s, and this episode takes the cake easily. It centers around a girl named Amanda who starts working the night shift at a hospital. As if a dark, quiet hospital wasn't scary enough, there just so happens to be a vampire sucking the life out of the patients as well. The moment in question that stuck with me for quite some time is this.
This is from the crate it came in. But how did it
Hi,
get...
Felix. Come here. I want to show you something.
You know, I don't think we're supposed to...
This episode was the finale of season 5, and the show stopped airing for 3 years after that, before it continued with 2 more seasons. It's almost like the creators just said fuck it and made the creepiest shit they could because they weren't even sure they were coming back anyway. Thanks, Nickelodeon! So like I said, not everything I discuss here will be aimed at kids only. I was a huge fan of the X-Files. I love the Mulder and Scully dynamic, and I always thought aliens were cool, but it was the standalone episodes that I looked forward to. These later became known as the Monster of the Week episodes, and the very first one was episode 3 of season 1, entitled Squeeze. The story of this episode revolved around Eugene Toombs, a mutant with the unique ability to contort his body into any shape. He could enter your home through a ventilation duct, the chimney, or even the fucking mail slot in your front door. Oh yeah, and he also rips your liver out with his bare hands and eats it. So that certainly didn't bother me at all. Strangely, it's none of those things that scared me shitless. It's actually the first time we see him. Those yellow eyes in the darkness scarred me for life. I still think about seeing those eyes whenever I see a sewer opening on the curb. And finally, when I was very young, my mom, again, showed me the movie Fire in the Sky when it aired on TV. It's about a group of loggers who witness their friend get abducted by aliens, and they spend the majority of the film trying to prove to the townspeople that they didn't have anything to do with it. When their friend finally shows back up near the third act, he seems unbelievably terrified by whatever took place in the past few days. We soon are treated to the most viscerally terrifying flashback I think I've ever seen in a film. First, he wakes up in some kind of pod, and I vividly recall thinking he was laying in barf, because it just fucking looked like barf. He soon discovers that this vast area he's trapped in has zero gravity. Then he finds this guy. If that wasn't enough for good old Chris, the scene only grows increasingly worse. Just imagine little 7-year-old me transfixed by this horrific abduction and complete violation of this man. I also had a big fear of needles as a kid, which probably stemmed heavily from the finale of this sequence. So there you go. Those are things I saw as a kid that made me poop my pants real good. I wish I could say that I was scared of most kids shows, but I just like that stuff too much to really be bothered by it. It's these specific memories I've just shared with you that truly haunted me as a child. Thanks for the inspiration, Adam, and please do check out his video and the eventual other videos added to the playlist linked in the description below. You guys are the best. What shit scared you as a kid? Let me know below, guys. Thank you very much as always for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.
Listen, I'll be next door if you need anything, okay?